Hello. Trying to navigate here, so we'll give it a few minutes. Uh, Hi, how you guys doing? Just trying to get set up a little bit here on live. But of course, I'm always struggling with this. Let me see if I'm actually live on TikTok or not. Okay, so something's not right, and I'm not live on TikTok, so I'm gonna have to restructure just a minute, and we'll get there. So give me just a moment. And it will get started in just a second since I get things set up a different way. Hmm, Making a mess. Okay. All right. Facebook and also on YouTube. I think everything's connected there. But for some reason, TikTok did not connect the way I thought it would. So let me check something and make sure we're showing live on Facebook. And then we'll get started. Yep, we're there. All right. So let me get started on TikTok, because this is not flowing the way it's supposed to flow tonight. Of course. So we'll get started. Alrighty. So tonight we're going to talk about the unspoken story around what divorce also took. And I'm Janice here to kind of like help lead us through this. This is going to be just a real conversation around like anybody who has been in divorce, through separation, things of that nature. It's not only just a relationship that you have with your significant other that feels broken. You may also experience it in regards to your circle and the people that are around you. So we'll wait and allow people to get in to this session tonight. If you're coming in on TikTok, please give me some hearts on TikTok. And if you're coming in on Facebook, go ahead and give me a like on Facebook as well. so we can get started on this. And then, of course, on YouTube, I'll be watching the comments if you guys want to put something in the chat in the comments as well tonight. So let's let people get in and get joined, and then we'll get going around this topic tonight around the circle that divorce also took as well. So let's give it a few minutes uh, around this. And yeah. Hi, how you doing? We'll get started in a few minutes. I'm just trying to let folks get in. I'm on TikTok, YouTube Live, and then also Facebook Live at the same time. Like I said, tonight we're going to talk about the circle that divorce took, not only just the relationship with the broken relationship, but also the circle that's impacted when you go through a divorce, and like the things that you can do to come out of that. Yeah. So yeah, let's make sure everything's connected. I'm quite sure it is, but just want to make sure. All righty. Hi, how you doing? Like I said, if you can come in, give me some hearts tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the circle that divorce took. But I do want to get into this topic. Thank you for showing up on YouTube and also on Facebook. Also here on TikTok. Hi, thanks for joining. But we're going to get into this topic soon, just around the circle that divorce may have taken as well. So guys, and I'm looking at a couple different screens. Like I said, I'm on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time. So if you see me looking off, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at different screens as I navigate this tonight. And so, for women, a lot of us are in that experience. We are being very strong in that experience, right? Regardless if you were the one that broke the relationship or the other person broke the relationship, usually we're trying to be tough. We're trying to be strong. We're trying to prove to everybody that everything is okay with us. But inside, there may be some sadness around like some of the loneliness that we may be experiencing. And that loneliness, hi, thanks for joining. That loneliness, please give me some hearts as you guys come in and leave comments, and I'll try to respond as well along the way. But that loneliness may be built around the fact that, our circle has changed, like the experiences and things that were already in place, the relationships that you built in that relationship with that significant other, those dynamics have changed, and people may be feeling different, and you may be feeling different as well as people try to navigate through that change. Hi, guys. If you come in, please give me some hearts over here on TikTok. I will appreciate it, or say hi. If you have a question, of course, you can drop a question. Like I said, but this is really just a conversation to talk about. And when I come on TikTok, I come over here to on lives and things. I come over here to really have just like real conversations about the changes and things that we can experience when we're going through divorce as well. So, and you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me over here on TikTok, because I've been struggling a little bit with yeah. So yeah, give me some hearts as you come in. And like I said, if you come in on TikTok, give me some hearts and just make sure that you can definitely hear me over there. So it's like, am I, they actually hear me? I think so. Okay. All right. So as far as like I said, in this experience, like your relationships change, the circle changes for you as well. Things don't actually feel the same for people. And when that occurs, like there's a sense of loneliness that you can have when you have that divorce and those breakups in relationship. So you're not only grieving the relationship breaking up, you could potentially also be grieving the circle that has changed around you. And it's not about like people choosing to be different. It's just that people are also trying to understand how to navigate the newness of the experience that they have with you. Like they've created relationships with you, and now you're in a place now where you're going through divorce, and those relationships feel separated. They feel very different. Hey guys, if you come in, just make sure you go ahead. Oh, thank you for saying hi, Abby. Go ahead, also give me a thumbs up and give me some hearts on this as well. And this is just like I said, a real conversation just around some of the things you can experience like as you're going through divorce. So but like I said, I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm sorry, not Instagram, but Facebook and YouTube all at the same time, trying to deliver this. So if you see me looking in different places, you know why I'm looking in different places. Like I said, but this is really just a conversation about like what you may also be grieving as you're going through divorce, you know. Like I said in the beginning, like as women, we're trying to be real strong through the experience. We're trying to prove that we are getting through it and we're going to be okay. But inside, you may be feeling a little bit of that loss from not only the relationship, but also that circle changing, those relationships changing, the rooms you get invited to, the things you get invited to can also change as you go through divorce. And guys, I'm talking about my lived experience because I went through divorce not too long ago, about 3 years ago. And so that's why I'm on here talking about this because I know these situations are real. And there's a real turning point for me in regards to like what put me on the right path and what actually helped me to be focused on like me growing and developing and getting past all the hurt and things that come along with divorce. So that's why I'm here talking about these things, just to kind of like share a little bit of what my experience was about. And so hopefully I can help some other folks as well. But like I said, a lot of times you're just focused on being strong through the thing. You're trying to convince people that you're okay. And then people get to a point they think that you may be okay, unless you just continue to run the person down the relationship, you got all the little bad things that you want to say about them. And then you're always venting on those things. And so a lot of times that may be like what you're showing. But in the inside, there may be some deep hurt around like the how your relationships and things are changing, how your public relationships are quite changing for you. And so people think you're doing well, but you may not be doing well. And so that's the thing, like you have to hone in on is that circle may change. And you have to realize like nobody teaches us that or nobody really talks about that. And that's why I'm talking about it tonight, is because you can be married and then you go through divorce and you think you're losing just the divorce and that feeling of that loss of the relationship with the significant other, but you also can end up grieving, and it's also end up grieving the loss of the relationship around the circle as well. And nobody tells us that, nobody talks about that. And that's why I'm talking about it, because you can have that loss as well around grieving the actual relationship, not just the relationship with the person, but the social relationships that you lose. And for women, like that can start to feel like you're not being seen, or people are not understanding your sense of loss, your sense of grief. People may not understand um how you're feeling about things and stuff. And so you kind of just end up losing yourself. And sometimes we choose to just go quiet and just kind of like be by ourselves and not really heal. We're going to lose the relationship, and then we're going to end up losing the social relationships also. So we make that choice to go quiet because we don't want to make other people uncomfortable, or we feel like we're not being, they're not seeing us clearly. So we make that change as well. And so that's not the right thing to do, is to go quiet. It's really just to be able to step into like who you are in the moment, be okay with who you are in a moment, and being able to move through that as well. And that's why I talk about, I've named my lives the room. And it's really about being able to establish, like, have a safe place to where you can connect with people. Have a safe place to where you can, like, just truly be yourself as you're going through that struggle, as you're going through that change, where you don't have to perform for people. You don't have to tell people that you're fine. Hi, thanks for joining, darling. You don't have to tell people that you're fine. And guys, if you're on TikTok, please give me some hearts on those. Let's continue to get this one out here. So just tap, tap, tap on your screen if you're not doing anything. Just tap on that screen for me. And let's get some hearts going over here. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tap, tap, tap for me. But yeah, like I said, it's really about like you are trying to not also navigate just the loss of the social circle. And so the wrong thing is to go quiet in regards to the social circle, right? And so being able to put yourself in a position or in a place to where you can really feel heard, seen, really be yourself, not be performative, not perform fine for folks, but just really just show up, be your authentic self, get through and let your story be told so that you can get through it. And then you can come back with clarity. A lot of times you're dealing with a lot of things around the hurt and the loss of the marriage, right? And so I'm going to ask people who have experienced divorce, like, this is a question for you, and you can just reply in the comments. What hurt most from the divorce? Was it the marriage or the loss of the circle? And so I'll just pause and see if anybody has any responses there. But it could be, like I said, the loss of the circle could be just as painful as the divorce itself, or it could be both, right? And many people will say it was both. Like, I experienced the loss of the circle, and I also experienced the loss of the marriage. And for me, it was both, right? Because you're not sure how you're going to navigate like new relationships, and like how people are going to feel about you, like the family circles. Like, if you think about it, like, most couples couple up, right? You got couple friends, right? You got a couple people that you date, you go out on dates together, you go on group trips together, you celebrate together, like that type of thing. So you lose that piece of it because people are trying to figure out how to navigate things, and they may be choosing sides as well, or trying to figure out like if they can straddle the fence and do both. And so that may be one of the things. TikTok is interesting. They send you notifications. It's just too distracting. I'm trying to stay on point, but it is a little distracting over here. But I'm trying to keep up. So y'all bear with me. So I hate to see like some of the notifications because it does get kind of weird. But continue to tap the screen for me. And if you ever done a live, you know what I mean. On TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube are a whole lot calmer. I can just talk to them. But seriously, like, those relationships and those relationship dynamics change. Like, you may end up losing like those couple friends and stuff. And even your people who maybe not be couple friends, they may be choosing sides, or maybe trying to figure out what side to be on. They're trying to navigate that. Another thing in regards to like the relationship or that circle breaking is like, I'm a faith-led person. So church can feel different as well, right? And in my circumstance, like, my ex had a position in the church. Like, so you can imagine that dynamic and how that felt when the breakup happened. Cause I was really good at performing that everything was okay. Everything was great, there's nothing wrong here. We're all good, and we were really good at putting on that mask and really just showing up. And people never thought about like there was anything wrong. But when the announcement made and people found out, they were completely surprised that this was happening. And so going through that, like, and then coming back to church, like, that felt very different for me because then people are not trying to be unkind. They're just trying to figure out where this thing lands. Like, how do I interact with you? How do I interact with him? Like, how do I understand like where you guys are, and like they're even at that point still trying to figure out like what actually happened and what went on here, because they have lots of questions, but they don't want to ask the questions because they don't want to be nosy. And you really don't want to share because it's not business to share any of that stuff unless you want to anyway. But the church dynamics change. And then they're trying to figure out like they're not quite sure how they can help you. Church people want to help people when they're going through a struggle or going through changes and stuff, but they're still not quite sure how to help you, how to navigate the situation. So instead of like leaning in and asking you, other than like, are you fine? That type of thing. And you go, yeah, I'm fine. There may be something else going on. So they don't want to spend the time like really understanding like what maybe the dynamics there, what maybe is there something else that I can do, that type of thing. And then where the easy invites don't happen anymore. So like even in church situations and church friendships and stuff, like now you don't even get invited to things, right? I've had things occur and then you hear about it, it's like, oh yeah, they had that thing. Oh yeah, I wasn't invited. Like, and then you have that feeling, right? And it's because folks are trying to figure out how to navigate that relationship that you had, and now they're trying to navigate the new you of it. And like I said, I don't think people mean anything by it. I think they're playing it safe by saying like, hey, um, I'll just not invite her and we'll just keep it real quiet because we're trying to not create any confusion or create any situations where things can be challenging or there's some awkwardness there. And so they're trying to play it safe to avoid the awkwardness. So guys, if you can tap, tap, tap and on TikTok and share it out, because it keeps telling me that you guys need to share it out. I don't know about TikTok. I'm just here, just doing my thing. So I'm managing and making it through. And like I said, over here on Facebook and stuff, if you guys have comments or questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and I'll try to look at those as well. So But yeah, those are just some of the dynamics that like nobody tells you about, but you experience when you're going through divorce. Is like that circle will change for you. That dynamics will change for you. Like I said, church may feel different. Like other social groups that you're involved in, then you as a couple may feel different as well. If you're joining, please go ahead and tap the screen. This is just a conversation about like what the things that you lose beyond the divorce, which is the circle, can actually change as well. And you can actually go into grief around the loss of the circle that you have. So, guys, just some of the points, like some of the things, like I said, my lived experience was this, like my changing point in things, what happened for me, which really made a difference for me, was a girls trip, right? And so that's why I talk about creating rooms. I don't do like teaching you things. Talk about creating rooms and experiences to help people in the hardest season to get through, so that you can actually have the opportunity as a lady to really start sit back and focus and think about yourself and spend that time on yourself. And so if you look at my page, that's what I talk about. It's like, how do you reclaim your life? How do you step yourself back into the life that you have for you, and realize that it's okay. You know, God is still with you, even if you're in one of those hard seasons. Sometimes we just don't have the patience or the time to sit back and listen to him. But being in the rooms and being in those experiences gives you the opportunity to do that. And so when I was going through the storm, I did a girls trip with a group of people I did not know. I just knew they had good hearts and were faith led women as well. They were actually my cousin's girlfriend group. Like she had been friends with these ladies for years, and I went with them on a trip during my season. And I tell you, I could at that point, because I had been around like just trying to navigate it with people I knew every day and trying to work through it. But going with someone that I just did not have a clue with, other than they knew that they were faith led women, they had the right spirit and the right heart, and they were welcoming enough to bring me in. I went on that trip with them, and I had an opportunity just to be myself. On my way to that trip, I cried on the plane. I cried all the way on the plane, right? And I think probably people sitting in the seat next to me thought I was crazy, or I just knew I was going through something. But I did cry on the plane all the way there, because I was trying to, in my head, think about like the decision I had made, the impacts that I made, because I knew it would impact my life. I knew it would impacted my children's life, my family life, and the dynamics of our family as well. And so it was weighing heavily on me. And so if you're in that situation, those decisions will weigh heavily on you. And you're trying to think about like, how do you navigate your future? Like if you pay attention to my page, I was 55 years old when I made the decision. As you could think, at 55 years old and you don't work like 20 some years of your life, you think like, how close am I to retirement, right? That's where my journey was. And I made a choice to disrupt what I thought my path was to retirement by making the choice to end the marriage. And then I'm trying to rethink about my financial life and being able to take care of myself and all the responsibilities that I have, and being able to take care of like who I was as a person going forward. And so you're navigating all of those decisions, and those things were the things that were weighing on me as I was taking that girls trip. But being with that group gave me an opportunity actually to slow down, experience new things, and actually listen to God. Right, I was able to connect with him, able to understand like, hey, he's still here with me even though I'm going through my storm, and I just need to lean and depend on him. And being able to hear his voice clearly helped me to understand where my future should be. And he told me like he's with me still through my struggle, he's with me through all the challenges that I was having, and that I knew that as long as I leaned into him and stayed close to the vine, that I would make it through. And so when I came back on the plane, I came back with a totally different view of how things were going with how things were going with my divorce. And I was able to like have clarity and make clear decisions when I got back around the focus in the future that I had. And I knew what my path was. And so that's one of the things, like that's why I build rooms. That's why I say come to on my retreat. I think I have a comment in regards to, if you want to be a part of my New York retreat, come to the retreat. That's what this is for. And you don't have to be in divorce. You just may be in a place like, hey, I've been through a hard season, and I just really need to be able to put myself in a position where I can experience new things, hear God clearly, and also like be able to figure out my path forward. And so that's what it's all about. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and comment the word retreat, and I'll send you the information. But like I said, when you're in divorce, like that circle can actually change for the dynamics around that circle can change. And there's a sense of loneliness there. And so what I did differently was like I said, figuring out a place to where you can actually start to hear yourself clearly, how you can figure out how you can, excuse me, I'm sorry, hear yourself clearly, and then to figure out how you can connect back with God because He's the source of everything. And once you figure out how you can connect with Him, hi, Isabel, thank you for joining. Once you figure out how you can connect with Him, then you can get your foundation. And that was the important thing for me. So when I was in my hard season, taking that opportunity to go on that girls' trip, treating it like a retreat, giving myself a time to reset, really be able to like just be myself in front of people who had no stake in the game, but was willing to listen to what was going on with me, offer advice. And even when I was on the trip with them, some of them were going through the same mess that I was going through. Like just being able to join in and talk with people about your circumstances and your situation who did not know your history, were not in a place of judgment or being able to judge what was going on with me, really helped me to be able to understand like my next path forward. And so that's why I talk about like making sure that you're taking that opportunity to reset, reclaim your life for your future going forward. So, guys, like I said, this was about like just talking about where that additional grief may be, which is around that circle that may be lost for you as well. And there's ways that you can handle that, like being able to make sure you don't walk away from those connections, like lean into those connections. Sometimes the people who are navigating your circumstances just need help in understanding how to navigate your circumstance. So one of the other things that I did, like in the situations where I didn't get invited to things or wasn't a part of things, I just talked to people, like open up, talk to them about it, and let them have an opportunity to ask questions, like understand where you are, understand how things are going in your life, understand, like get that understanding, they need to get comfortable as well. And then that circle starts to reheal and starts to come back. But you have to be the one that's willing to go, like, hey, I know there's something a little different here. I just want to talk to you about it. I still love you. Like, I still want to be a part of, have a relationship with you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how I can continue to have a good relationship with you going forward because I don't want to lose it. So that's a way that you navigate those situations when that you feel like there's some separation in that circle. It's not for you to turn away because a lot of times we will go in defense mode, but like, well, if they don't want me, I'm not going to be there. That's not the right thing to do because, like I said, when you're in that situation, people just have a lot of questions and they just want to have more understanding and clarity. And they really do honestly want to be able to join in with you. Guys over on TikTok, please give me some hearts. They really do want to figure out like how to navigate that situation with you. So, like I said, what you can do is just like make sure if you experience that someone that you were fairly close, you were close with in the past, but something has changed in that dynamic because of the divorce, then you want to go and have that conversation with them in love. And just say like, hey, let's just clear the air. Like I know things are different. I know this may be hard for you as well, because I've experienced where people that I've been close to have divorced as well, and you feel it just like they feel it, right? You feel it in a way too, like, oh my God, especially, you love the couple as a couple, but they've only known you as a couple and not knowing you as two individuals, and they're trying to figure out how to manage that and how to manage that dynamic. So you want to go to that person if you feel like you're losing some of your circle. Go to the people that you're losing as far as your circles is concerned, talk to them about like what's going on. A lot of times they just want to ask questions, get clarity and stuff like that. People don't want to choose sides. Unless they're just close, like really super close, and they can do more about it. But at most times, folks don't want to choose sides. They just want to be in a place that where they can love you both, and you just have to lean in and try to help them figure that out and how to navigate that as well. So, guys, I hope this was helpful. Like I said, ladies, if you're here, you know you're going through a hard season and you're in a place to where like, hey, I need to reclaim, I need to be able to focus, I need to be able to really just get my head together. Comment retreat, there's the April retreat, and I'll send you that information. If you're not in a place to where you're ready for a retreat, but you are looking for work on how I can work on myself as far as reclaiming. Like I said, I don't do rooms. I do have a quiz, and you can comment reclaim, and I'll send you the link to the quiz, which will give you a mirror moment around like what's happening with you, where you can focus on power, purpose, and prosperity. What branch do you need help with? And just comment reclaim, and I'll send you the link to that. But guys, I hope this was helpful around like understanding that it's okay. You're not being dramatic. What you may be experiencing if you're going through divorce or separation is you may be experiencing the grief of the social circle as well, not only the grief of the relationship. And if you are experiencing that, just recognize it for what it is. And like I said, the way that you fix that and figure it out is just to go to those people, have those conversations with them, reestablish that connection, reestablish that relationship, which may look slightly different than that married relationship that you were in previously. But it can be a healthy, thriving relationship if you just go to folks, have that conversation with them and talk to them about it. And people will try to, they'll figure it out around how they can engage with you and continue to have you a part of their life so things aren't silent. The wrong thing to do is to turn away from folks that you've been used to engaging with, but lean into those relationships and figure out how you can help them bridge the gap of understanding the separation and divorce and the grief that they may be feeling on the other side because they think they're losing two people they really cared about. Not recognize that it can still have both of you guys in their life in some way. So I hope this helped, folks. Thank you for joining in tonight. Sorry, TikTok. I'm still working on TikTok. Like the little notifications and things are weird, but I'm getting there. I'm getting TikTok. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it nailed at some point in my life. I'm not sure when it's gonna happen. I think I need to take one of these classes. I keep following people to try to like figure out things. I think I need to lean in and really take a class. Like if there's an expert on TikTok, hit me up in the DMs and I will definitely take your class because I definitely need that. Somebody to tell me how to expertly do a TikTok live. But Facebook, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can definitely follow me over there as well too. So, but guys, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a blessed night. And hopefully things will continue to move forward for you and you have nice, productive, well oriented life going forward and a great day. I'll talk to you guys later and thank you so much. Bye-bye.